Hey guys, how's it going? Ghosty Rich here today, and I'm overlaying this audio because it just so happens my microphone is off. So if you're looking right now, what a beautiful tank. It's gorgeous, isn't it? Well, it's even better if you put it on the right way around. And look, our screws line up. Perfect. As you can see, this is our old one. Unfortunately, the old owner did not check his screw gaps and put them right into the gas tank. He told Justin when he bought it that, oh, don't worry, it's just because there's a carburetor issue. No, there wasn't. Justin called me and I stopped by and found skylights in those screw holes. As soon as I started loosening them off, it started peeing out fuel. Not a good start. So in a second here, I'm actually going to show you how to check your screw gap. But I'm also showing you we're not going to reuse that fuel line because, yeah. Well, here's our screws. You can see that big long screw. That's what he drove into that small screw space. Really not a smart idea. Thanks, dude. As you can see, I'm showing you with a nail how you can check. You slide the nail in the threads, you check with your finger, you wrap some electrical tape, and you put the screw threads right beside. Now, Justin's also showing you there's also plastic involved. But I'm showing you that because if the screw exceeds that amount, when you tighten it down, you don't want it anywhere near to capsizing in there and cracking a new skylight in your gas tank. So as you can see, Justin's just moving it around a bit. We're checking fitment once again because you want to make sure everything's going to line up. Oh, look at that brand new hose. We went to the parts store and we grabbed a new hose. Slips on nice and tight, which is good. Justin's gonna make sure she sits nicely in there. And you're gonna notice it's excessively long. We're gonna cut that later. So now let's once again fit everything in there. Slide that in. And look, Justin says, look at how much extra we have. That's perfect. Whatever, it cost us $3. Now that we've checked our fitment there, giving you another shot of the tank, telling you to check clearances of handlebars and everything. And we're showing you we bought new hardware because we didn't trust that guy's hardware anymore. And because the screws were half stripped out. So we went and bought new stuff from the store. It was cheap enough. As you can see, Justin is hand threading it into the tank to make sure all of our screws are perfect. Again, you should never ever use an impact when putting screws into a gas tank, which I'm pretty sure this guy did. All right, we've now tested that one. As you can see, it goes rubber washer, thick washer, and then bolt. And this just allows so the gas tank, the bike can vibrate a little bit and will not cause that bolt to kind of loosen up. Hi, Justin. We're also telling you to make sure you check the clearance of the back one. From this point, we can actually start bolting on all the plastic pieces after you check your clearances. Now, one thing that we figured out is it was easier because it was aftermarket plastic pieces as well. They didn't quite fit our new tank. So what we did is I told Justin, let's pull it out and we're going to take it around the back and put them on before we slide the tank in. If you also look, when you go to put that plastic in, they're on hooks. So as I just slid that in there, as you can see, now we know that it hooks in. So don't try to just slide it in there. You want it to slide in and then hook up. And as you can see, we're test fitting that bolt right there. And then that's when we find out, look at how hard that one was to line up. It didn't quite line up. So, and then this one was fun too. We also decided not to use the speed clips. We did Nylock screws, or well, I should say Nylock nut with a screw with a rubber washer. And I'm also telling you, after you're done, you can cut that gas line and slide it onto the barb that we removed it off of. And I'm taking a long time to tell you how to do this. Just sandwiches onto there, or use a speed clip. Speed clip is that little yellow, or not yellow, it's a metal clip that you slide on there. It's got a nut welted on one side that you can put the screw through. And as you can see, gas tank's out. We're putting the plastics on the gas tank outside because it was so much easier, and it just gives you more flexibility. You're not fighting with it on the bike. Again, it just depends on the way you want to do it. Since it is plastic, it's easier. It's easier this way. And if you really want to, you can always reamer the holes a little bit bigger. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to make sure that they fit nice and tight. And the new hardware looks really good on this bike. Now for the last bolt on the back end. And then there, look at that. We've slid it in and it's locked in. Next thing to do is if you want to, you can cinch those bolts up a little bit. Again, nothing too torquey. If you notice that all of a sudden it stops, don't go like all nuts, because if your screw has bottomed out because you didn't check your clearance, you're gonna really regret if it starts pouring out. I'm also telling you, we're gonna slide that seat on afterwards. You can see the two hooks. My hand goes on the first hook and the second hook, and that screw hole that goes all the way through, there's two bolts, one on each side, that hold that seat in. Watch this. So you just put it down and lock it in like that, and then in goes those two screws. And bang. So next thing that you're going to want to do now is slide those two screws in, which you can see right there, line up in the two holes after that seat's in there proper. And Justin's trying to pull up on it to make sure both hooks engaged, which they did. Actually, there's three. There's also one on top of the gas tank. If you didn't get one on your old tank, you will also notice that there's a screw on the top of that gas tank that you need to tie in. Again, as you can see, we're checking clearances. We put that tube in right there into the on-off. We've made sure that the on is on, and we start the bike for the first time just to make sure. And there we go. Now we're gonna get it ready to roll out of the shop. Again, if you haven't torqued your screws down, now's a good time to just go around and make sure they're nice and tight. The only real structural thing is you want to make sure that tank's in there nice. And as you can see, I'm messing around with the camera. Well, Justin is taking the Dream Machine for a quick rip. Good job, Justin. Good job.